do it, Linda. Oh, maybe. I just wanted to welcome everyone again. Over the last 3 days, we've been trying to introduce, because we have over half of our practitioners who are new and a lot of new people within the centers themselves. We wanted to give you all a little sprinkling of what's LBS is about and what some of the um, duties, I guess, that you'll have to perform. And there'll be more opportunity for learning. With the evaluations, we found that everybody wants more. So you got some information, which we knew that would happen. So bear with us, because we are going to give you more along the way. But we can't inundate you right away with everything, because it's very overwhelming. It seems like just yesterday I was learning a million acronyms, and I'm still learning a million acronyms because they're changing them all the time. So, and one of them, very important element, especially now with COVID, is the online platform. The Native Stream has their own online platform, and that's Good Learning Anywhere, which is housed in Sioux Hudson Literacy. And Linda and Warren have been with GLA for many years, and they have a wealth of knowledge, and they make it look easy. So I'm going to pass it on to them. If you have any questions, put it in the chat box, raise your hand with that little icon at the bottom, and they'll keep an eye on that and try to address it. If they need further, then maybe they'll get you to ask the question aloud for clarification. We do have an evaluation at the end of the webinar, and we have 2 draws, so stick around after. We have one for individual and another for your programs. So without further ado, Linda and Warren, I'll let you take over. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that. Yeah, everybody's muted. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having us, Michelle. We're glad that we're able to join you guys today. I think everybody was here when I said that, when we talked about questions, but we really are excited to join you guys and kind of see where this presentation takes us. We've got a planned PowerPoint presentation, but we're really hoping we can get some questions from you guys as well. So we'll ask you to use text chat. I've actually got Robin Rowe here with me today. I flew her in especially for you guys because she is our CAMS expert at GLA and is everything CAMS. And so we dragged her away from her other duties and brought her to join us as well today. And she's got a little piece for you guys about some tips and tricks with CAMS and blended learning. The fun stuff. Yeah, exactly. Warren's here with me today, and we're going to present about who we are, what we do, and then halfway through what we're going to do today is we're going to do some scenarios, and I'm really going to draw on you guys to kind of come up with some neat scenarios and kind of some solutions as well with some of the challenges that you guys are having. So we're going to do that as well about halfway through the presentation. And so as we go through, if you have questions, the chat, we're going to monitor that as the other people are presenting. Robin and Warren, if you guys can kind of help me monitor that. The other function that's really useful, like I said, is if you just scroll down to the bottom of your screen a little bit, what you'll see is some reactions that pop up, and that hand, if you go under the reactions, you can raise your hand. So can everybody just go down, and let's give everybody a high five to start this morning. Go down to your reactions, click on it and raise your hand. Oh, I got some sunglasses. Someone's cool this morning. Okay, awesome. So lots of hands in there. some applause. We've got some celebrations from Nancy. Okay, you guys know where that icon is. Fantastic. Walter's an 8. Now, Walter, I didn't know Zoom could lie to me, but anyhow. Awesome. Everybody knows where that is. So that's fantastic. We will, I'm going to lower all hands. Look at that, Zoom. You're getting fancy. I can do that now. Fantastic. Zoom's changing for us. We don't use it. We use it for meetings. We still use Adobe Connect for our live classes. So we're getting used to it as well, in the aspect of the little things that they're adding to it every day to just make it a little more functional, which is fantastic. So I'm going to share my screen. And like I said, as we go through, if you have questions, please use that text chat for us. And also raise your hand. And I just have to get myself set here. Slideshow, play from start. And you went to the wrong screen. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. That should help us a little bit here. So in the text chat, or someone can give me just a thumbs up here, we're good. We are, yeah, we're good. We see our agenda. Okay, fantastic. So this is what we've got outlined for you today, is kind of what we got. But like I said, as we go through, if you guys have questions and have a direction that you want to go, we're happy to answer those as we go through as well. We want this to be as interactive as possible. So I am going to turn it over to Warren, and he's going to talk to you a little bit about who we are. And he's going to kind of go through our missions and blended learning and what's new and some marketing. And then I'm going to jump in with the scenarios that we have, and then we're going to turn it over to Robin for some cans and blended learning. So we're going to kind of do this as a team today, which I think is great for you guys because you get to meet some of the GLA team and learn a little bit about what happens in each of our worlds. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Warren, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. Thanks, Linda. I'm going to leave my camera on just very briefly here, guys. I just wanted to say hello, put a face to my name. I'm going to turn it off because I'll probably be standing up a little bit. I tend to talk with my hands and it might get a little distracting. So I just wanted to say hello. Just so you guys know a little bit who I am. I live in Toronto. I've been with the organization for coming up to 12 years now. So I know exactly, for those that are new that are coming into the field, I know exactly how you're feeling. It's very overwhelming. There's a lot of information that gets thrown at you. You get pulled in a lot of different directions. So I know how you're feeling, and what we're going to try to do today is we'll try to keep things as simple and as clear as possible. And then we'll answer as many questions as we can. So my roles and responsibilities, I typically handle most of our marketing and our communications. I manage our database behind the scenes, our websites, and help with some of our learning management systems behind the scenes as well. So probably very similar to you. We wear a lot of different hats around here, but like I said, we'll try to get through this as smoothly as possible. We'll just turn that off. Yeah, so we'll give you a little brief introduction of who we are. So basically what we are doing, so Good Learning Anywhere, if you think of kind of like our parent organization is Sue Hudson Literacy Council, and our office is based out of Sioux Lookout, north of Thunder Bay. And that's kind of our parent organization. And I always try to explain it where we have two other programs that kind of run out of that. So we have the Sioux Lookout Learning Center. So that's our face-to-face literacy and basic skills program. And then the other piece is Good Learning Anywhere. And this is our online distance learning program. So we're offering free online courses to adults across Ontario. And this is people that are typically looking to, upgrade their reading, writing, math, computer, other essential skills. And as Michelle mentioned, we are the lead e-channel service provider for the Aboriginal stream in Ontario. Quick introduction to some of our leadership team. Robin Rowe, she is with us today. She is the database CAMS guru. So you want to make sure you have her contact information because she'll be very helpful for you. You've met Linda. Sue's not with us today, but she handles all of our intake and registrations. She's the first point of contact when you call our toll-free number to reach Good Learning Anywhere. She's got incredible relationships with so many different programs, and she's got her finger on the pulse of what's going on. So you'll get to meet Sue moving forward, and then obviously you've met me. So between all of us, Jonathan is our executive director. He's not here today, but between all of us, we have over 40 plus years of combined experience, which I think is pretty special for this field. It definitely helps us along the way. So when we start to add up our instructors and our mentors and other support staff, we've got, I don't know the exact number, I think we've got about 24 people on staff in the entire organization. But if we add up everyone's experience, we're about 170 years of experience, specifically in adult education and literacy and basic skills, which is very important because the experience does matter, especially when you're getting into online learning. And there's, obviously there's other options that are out there, but at the end of the day, experience does matter. And Michelle mentioned that at the beginning. This is like this map here is a little exercise that we do each year. And what we like to do is kind of take some time and reflect back and see who we've met with and which communities we're working with. And obviously going through the pandemic, it was very challenging. And it still remains a challenge. But in 2020/21, Good Learning Anywhere worked with 356 different communities. So our reach has grown quite a lot. Compared to the previous year, we were 256 communities. So we actually, our reach grew by 100 communities. And we're very proud of that because, there's a lot of rural and remote communities that, don't have access to services. And, we're very proud that we've been able to, find different ways to reach and connect. And for some of these communities, and Linda can attest to this, but it's taken years for them to come on board, and eventually they've come full circle. So it's this is always just kind of a proud moment for us we wanted to share with you. Good Learning Anywhere, we're turning 20 next year. I wish I was turning 20, but not quite. So that's a big accomplishment for the organization. I think we're the only e-channel program that's been around for this long. We've got a lot of long-term staff that have been here a while and have been through the ups and downs and the challenges and different ministry contacts that we work with, and we've seen quite a bit over the last 20 years, which again is it all adds up and helps us moving forward. So we'll have some more celebrations next year to talk about that. Mission and core values. I won't bore you with too much of the details. Kind of some 4 key pillars that we're focused on is obviously respect. Accessibility is huge. Lifelong learning and partnerships. And that's why we're here today. OMLC is obviously a very big partner with Good Learning Anywhere. We've had a long history of working on so many different projects and working with all the programs and coming up with different curriculum and content. But it's something that we're very proud of. And I think without partnerships, we wouldn't be here. It's obviously we all can't know everything, right? We have to rely on each other quite a bit. So partnerships over the years have been extremely important for us. We'll touch a little bit on blended learning. You may have heard this buzzword, this term floating around for the last little while. And we can kind of walk you through this. So basically, if you think of blended learning, you almost want to think of it as a blender, right? So you're taking a combination of different ingredients and pulling it all together into, a great serving of something, whether it's a blended drink or whatever it might be. But in terms of literacy and basic skills, it's a combination of that face-to-face training, whether it's one-on-one or in a classroom, combined with online learning with e-channel. So you've got your face-to-face LBS program, and then you have Good Learning Anywhere. And if you mix those together, you're going to get what we call blended learning. So I kind of like this example here, so our face-to-face programs are in that red circle, right? Good Learning Anywhere is in the yellow circle. Due to the pandemic, the blended learning model does look a little bit different because we have a lot of clients that are at home right now. But if you hit the next button there, Linda, you'll see this is where the blended learner falls in. Okay, that blended learner is kind of taking classes from home with their face-to-face program and also working with us. So not that long ago, we did a podcast with Contact North, and they have, I think there's 112 or 116 access centers, so where people can drop in and get access to technology, computers and the internet. And one of the things they mentioned to me was, as of right now, they only have 43 of the access centers open. So only less than half of them are even open right now. But I was curious with everyone here, are you guys fully open, like face-to-face? Are you allowed to have clients enter the building? It just seems like every community, every health unit works a little differently. Maybe we can just drop something in the text chat if you guys are open. I'm just trying to get a feel for where the programs are at. So a lot of appointments, maybe. Some screening protocols, okay. Okay, Thunder Bay, not yet. Okay, that's what I thought. And so some are, some aren't, and yeah, every health unit's a little different, right? Different scenarios, but okay, that's good for us to know. I think that's important. Obviously we're getting towards the tail end of our fiscal years, and we all have commitments that we need to make, but maybe as we go through this presentation, you'll see that there's some mutual benefits to working with e-channel to maintain your numbers and commitments as well. Okay, good. Maybe we can go to the next slide there, Linda. So what does a blended learner need? And we'll have some drop-down items here. Essentially, they're going to need an email address, preferably their own, so we can communicate back and forth, give them updates, progress, send them their login instructions, that sort of thing. Some general internet and email skills. A lot of our courses, all the instructions are on the screen. The learners are they're guided, they're directed, but you need some basic skills of, how to use a mouse and use a keyboard and, maybe close a screen, that type of thing. What else do they need here, Linda? Access to a computer and internet. We are 100% online. All of the classes and courses we offer are online, so you definitely need a computer and internet. Speakers and microphone. This is more of like a personal recommendation, I guess. It's just nice if clients have a headset and a microphone. It makes it easier in your program if you have a lot of people coming in the center and there's all kinds of noise coming out of a computer. It can kind of interrupt and be a distraction. So it's always a good idea, I think, for clients to be able to have access to a headset with a microphone. Blended learners definitely need some time management skills because you're kind of managing two programs from the client side, right? They have their face-to-face program, and then they have an online learning program. They might be taking some courses with us, and there's some time management required. They're going to work with two different programs, so they have to manage that because they will obviously have some goals in mind, and then they have life. Life gets in the way too. So you got to kind of manage everything at once, but it certainly helps. And especially having clear goals. That's always really important. Where we've seen a lot of success is, a learner might be attending a face-to-face program and I'm really working on my math and I'm trying to work and improve on that. But you know what, maybe if they need some extra work, they can supplement that with some online learning. So just kind of a bit of extra work, if you will. And when the goals are clear, it's great when both programs can work together and we're all on the same page. We know what the learner is looking for. And it kind of keeps everyone on target. Lots of benefits of blended learning. Probably the first one, which I think is really important, is the fact that we can share milestones and get credit for them within CAMS. Robin will talk a little bit about the CAMS side further through our session here. But let's say we have, you have a face-to-face learner and they're in your program taking classes, they're with us, and let's say they complete a milestone through our program. You guys can still get credit for that. We're going to send you all the information about which milestone they were successful at, the name of it, which milestone number. We're going to give you all the detailed information, and you can take that and you can add that into your own CAMS system for the learner, and you get credit for it, which is fantastic. Like it's a great way to still get credit for the work, because obviously your programs are part of that success as well. Great question in the text chat, Nicolette. You will get written proof. We will send you an email with all that detailed information, and you can print it off and add it to the file so you have your backup and enter it into CAMS, which is huge, especially this time of year when programs are, maybe trying to boost up their numbers. The pandemic's been a challenge. There's no doubt about that. So it's a good opportunity. We offer culturally appropriate programming. So we always try to have some Indigenous content in our courses and classes. So that's obviously a benefit right there. Supplement classroom activities. I kind of mentioned that, using that math example. There's other things that we can add on to help you, depending on what the learner is working on. Enhanced learner engagement. If you really just want to mix things up a little bit, and maybe you're tired of doing all the talking and whatnot, and maybe sometimes it feels like the clients are tuning you out a little bit. Blended learning and working with Good Learning Anywhere might be a good opportunity to kind of just switch things up a bit, right? Kind of, use different parts of their brains and, work on different things. It's, we're adults, we all get distracted, right? And we might even have some content that might not be available locally. So, you'll want to check out our website and see what courses we offer, but there might be something in there that you're looking for specifically. Right. And there's options for those that can't attend. So like I said, there's life gets in the way. People have other responsibilities, jobs and family and kids and, as we're caregivers, all sorts of different things. Sometimes clients can't always attend in person. And, even we talked earlier about not all programs are open, or maybe it's appointment only and there's only so many times you can get in to the program. And if it doesn't work, at least with Good Learning Anywhere, having some online learning options, it's nice to kind of have that as an option. The great thing too is all of our courses are free. And we encourage people to try it. And I'm always the first to say that online learning isn't for everyone. Some people just need that face-to-face interaction, and that's perfectly fine. But I think it's worth trying, because there's nothing to lose. If it's really the client's time, and if they don't like it, that's okay. But we've seen people that would come into online learning, and they'll come in, they'll sit in front of a computer, and they're trembling, like their hands are shaking, they're sweating, they're extremely nervous, which is obviously completely normal. But they try it, and typically they like it, and then they'll come back, and they feel a little bit more confident, and they'll come back again, and it can really snowball, and people can really get behind it, and there's really not a lot to lose. So it's something to really just kind of think about. Right. And one thing you're going to find is as practitioners, we get very busy, and we're all very learner centered. We're client focused, and each learner has their own set of goals. They have their own certain needs. They might need accommodations. And as you get pulled in different directions, it becomes more and more challenging to work one-on-one. But working with Good Learning Anywhere and eChannel, to be able to have someone work on their classes and their coursework online gives you as a practitioner a bit more free time to work with other people that are coming in the program, coming through the doors. So how do you support blended learning? What we find that works really well, we've got 5 or 6 tips here, but creating a check-in schedule, just checking in to see how they're doing, whether that's checking in with us, checking in with the learner, just kind of having that regular communication really goes a long way. That's always very helpful. So like I said, following up with the mentor, and even just assisting with digital technology needs. We wouldn't expect you guys to know everything about Adobe Connect or Moodle or whatever learning management system that class is being delivered in. We'll handle all the technical back-end things, but if there's any general basic computer needs, just to, for example, just they need a bit of help logging in, right? They'll have all that content, but just little things like that. Maybe helping them select their next class. If they really enjoyed a live class and they want to maybe take another one, sometimes they're just looking for a little bit of guidance on what that next class should be. After a learner registers with us, our mentors are going to reach out to the on-site practitioners, and we're going to ask, is there anything that you can share with us to best support the learner? So for example, maybe a learner has a visual impairment, and they need to see the fonts just a little bit bigger on the screens. That's important for us to know, because maybe there's something we can do on our end to help support them and show them maybe how to do that. So that type of thing is always helpful. We can't always collect that information on a general registration form, but sometimes these little extra tips or extra advice certainly help. And this is a big myth buster. So learners don't have to choose between a face-to-face LBS program and e-channel. Okay, so it's not one or the other. They can definitely do both at the time. It's not like we're taking learners away from you. It's not like you're preventing learners from working with e-channel. It's back to that blended learning model, right? Where we all kind of work together and help that learner. There's no choices that need to be made there. Okay, so that's kind of gives you a good, I think, background of who we are, what we do, kind of what we're looking at when it comes to blended learning. We'll take a look at a few things that are new around here that you might be interested in learning more about. This is kind of a brief summary of our live classes and our independent classes. So these are our new courses that we developed over the summer, the early part of the fall. Those are quieter times for us. And as we kind of go through the terms, we get feedback from the programs. We have a good understanding of what people are looking for and what they want. So what we try to do is in the summer and the downtime, we want to develop new content and maybe retire some courses that just aren't maybe meeting everyone's needs. So this gives you kind of a brief summary of that. You can definitely explore these further. If you go to our website, goodlearninganywhere.com, right at the top of the page, you can see a courses button. You can click on that. You'll see a summary of all the course titles. You can click on them. It'll open up a brief description. And then at the very bottom of that page, there's a course catalog. It's a live document, so we'll add to it or take away. Not that often during the terms, but if you print it off now in the fall, that course catalog is going to look a lot different if you're looking for those same courses in the spring. So sometimes it'll change a little bit, but you'll definitely want to check that out. We started a podcast. So one of the things that we've been finding is that, sometimes you send out newsletters or, you're on Facebook and you're kind of marketing your programs and maybe the more traditional mediums. And we were doing okay. And we just thought, you know what, let's try something new. I think there's like another audience that we're maybe not connecting with. And podcasts in the last few years have really taken off. So we took a chance, and Diane and myself started a new podcast. It's called Plugged In with Diane Warren. And we try to post a podcast about once a month right now. It takes a fair bit of time to pull this off, and we invite guests. For our November podcast, we had Sarah Stalker from Contact North. And if you want to know anything about Contact North and what they do and how they support eChannel, you definitely want to check out that podcast specifically. Sarah did an awesome job, very thorough, very detailed. And it's just something, you can listen to it in the background, and you can, if you're busy, you can stop it, you can play it, you can come back to it. So we're just kind of reaching a different audience. And we're on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcast. If you do a quick search there and type in Plugged In with Diane Warren, you'll find it.
Hey Warren, I just had a question that popped up in text chat. It said nothing about podcasts and how do I get to them? Do you want me to do a quick to show them how I pull it up on my computer?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let me just get out of this, maybe. Okay, so what I do, now I'm on a Mac, so it might be a little bit different. And no judging on my playlist. I have been on a little bit of a rampage on on the new Taylor Swift, I'm embarrassed to say, album that came out this week. So I have been listening to it. So I open up my Spotify. This is a bit risky to do in front of a group of people actually, but anyway, I go to my, yeah, there she is. I go to my, I can go into my search. Oh, good. I have some TS fans out there. I appreciate that. So if I go into my search, it popped up because I did, but I could just go up. So I open up Spotify, which you can, I think, you can sign up for an account. It's free, and you do have a free account. I do pay for my account because I use it and I load a lot of songs as well, but I believe there's free. And so then I just go in and I type in plugged in with Diane Warren, and it pops up and I can listen to it that way. So you can follow it, and then you can just go down and you can see all the different, and it's kind of like listening to radio, and it shows them how old I am, but it's kind of like listening to a radio talk show. I can just play it and listen to it in the background. Because I have the paid account, I can download it and listen to it in the car or whatever as well. But I believe that we can also go to, you said something about Google too, right, Warren? Is there another way that people can go to
Yeah, you
it?
can go to Google Podcasts. So if you just open up a page, type in Google Podcasts.
Oh, if I type, all right, so Google Podcasts. Do I have to download that?
No,
Oh, here
just
we
your
go.
first one there. Yeah.
And then I can list this. And the nice thing is there's all sorts of interesting podcasts on here. But let's just type in plugged in with Diane Warren. Let's see what pops up. So there it is. So again, I can go down and I can just listen to the episodes that they have listed there, which is great. But yeah, and there's all sorts of, there's a couple other, I think, LBS sites that are starting podcasts too. So they are an interesting thing to either download and listen to as you're going for a walk, or even just in the background as you're working as well, doing that CAMS data entry. So that was a good question. Okay, I'm gonna go back here. Don't know why that's doing that, but that. Okay, I'll turn it back to you, Warren. Or do you want me to talk about Northstar?
Yeah, no, I'll get you to talk about Northstar, but yeah, just to finish off on the podcast piece. As Linda was saying, if you have other interests in education or whatnot, there's all kinds of different podcasts that are out there. For us, we've always tried to keep them relatively short, definitely under an hour. We're finding between 30 and 45 minutes just seems to be a decent amount of time. So it's not too long and definitely not too short. And don't be surprised if we reach out to you at some point and maybe ask one of you to come on and be a guest and talk about your program and, you know, different challenges that you're facing, or sharing different success stories. So you might hear from us, but I'll just give you the fair warning now. But yeah, I'll maybe let you touch on the next piece of this program that's new for us there, Linda.
Okay. I think the other thing too is Nicolette mentioned she doesn't know anything about podcasts. So this is a great time to plug one of the courses that we that was developed. So Diane and Warren are kind of our real leaders in the whole world of podcasts and creating them. So there is a Moodle course on introduction to podcasts. that, Nicolette, if you were interested in signing up and taking that, you're welcome to as well. And it's a way of is a way of doing learning about GLA at the same time. Is this podcast in lieu of the talking circle? Good question, Michelle. It's not. We're still off. Yeah, Warren, we're still offering the sharing circles too. This is kind of in addition to another way of just kind of reaching people out there. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay. Northstar Digital Literacy. So some of you may have heard about Northstar Digital Literacy before. This is a great tool for an on-site organization, and it's free for you guys to sign up and use as well. But again, we also know people are limited in the amount of time and resources that you guys sometimes have on site. So we did go ahead and sign up to be a Northstar site. So we have access to being able to track the learners and certificates and all that type of stuff in the background. But it has some great, so people looking for the basic computer skills like Word, Excel, all those types of things. They have done a really good job, and I haven't checked back in the last month or so, but they've actually got online learning modules for Word and Excel. And what I really like about Northstar is you don't have to have Word or Excel or PowerPoint on your computer, because that's always been a barrier with Microsoft, is what version do people have, and so you can go through, and it does give you certificates as well. I don't believe we have this on a regular registration. So this would be something that you kind of give us a call and be like, hey, Linda, I've got a group or I've got a learner and they're interested in doing the Word piece, or talk to the mentor if someone's already registered with us. And it's another piece that we're doing. We're still exploring it, and that's part of what GLA does, is continues to explore what's coming out in digital, in what's coming out in the world in the aspect of online pieces, and how that fits into LLBS, and Northstar was one of those pieces. So it's one of those things that when you're talking to partners in your community, you're talking to learners, or you're brainstorming about what's going to draw people into your program, this is something that can be used, that we're here to support you guys in. If you want someone to kind of do the background piece for you, we're happy to do that and have a blended learning approach with this. And as we get through, Warren's going to talk about co-branding, and this could be an opportunity too. If you know in your community that there is a lot of people interested in Word and that type of stuff, or basic computer skills or internet basics, this could be a piece that could be co-branded with you guys. I'll just talk about this too. This came out of ONLC, and we are very grateful for their support in this, the curriculum that Barb created for ONLC, and Barbara Nolan has been fantastic. I think this might be our third offering of a language course through ONLC, and it is in 3 parts. And the first part starts November 23rd, and she's just fantastic, and we can't thank ONLC enough for connecting us with her, and they've been very popular. Out of that is also, because it's so popular and it's a live course, we've also got a Moodle course as well that people can take to start to know the basics of the language as well, the Anishinaabe language. So that's been something we've been starting to dip our toe into, thanks to ONLC, and we've so far it's been very successful. I'm going to turn it back over to Warren for marketing. He's going to talk a little bit about that. And then you guys, with all the information we've given you so far, we're going to work together on some challenges and finding some solutions for them. So I'll turn it back over to you, Warren.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, we'll just touch on a few things, some marketing things that we might be able to help with, or things you might want to take into consideration. You can go to the next slide for me there, Linda. There we go. So this is something we came up recently with. As you know, as you go through our course catalog, you'll see we have a lot of different courses, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming and maybe you don't know where to start. And you know that your client might be interested in online learning. They're not sure where to start. So what we did was we created these two bundles. So we have an employment bundle and then a healthy living bundle. And what we've done is we've taken a few different courses and put them together. They're three separate courses, but you kind of register for them all at once. So under employment is customer service, ready for work, and essential career skills. So if people kind of have that employment pathway, maybe they're looking for a job or changing careers, whatever it might be, this might be just a good place to start. Or if people are looking for maybe a little bit more independence, they kind of have a different maybe pathway. Mindfulness matters, health literacy basics, and getting a jump on healthy living is also a bundle that might be good to ease them into online learning as well. So just a good starting point there if you're not sure where to start. I'd highly recommend check out our Facebook page. So we're facebook.com/goodlearninganywhere. You can like our posts, you can share them if you want to leave some comments. It seems to be, we've kind of hit a spot where we find a lot of our clients are using Facebook. So I don't know if it's like an age demographic or what it is. It certainly kind of feels that way. I know the younger generations are using Snapchat and other social medias, but we're finding that a lot of our clients are on Facebook. And I don't know if you guys have your own Facebook pages or not, but you could definitely take a look at ours and see if that's something that we could help you with or guide you or just share information. Definitely more than happy to do that. The other thing is when it comes to online courses, you can try out courses for yourself. And so let's say, you're interested in the language course that Linda was talking about earlier. You don't want to attend the live one, but you want to look at the Moodle course. It's more independent. You go at your own pace, your own schedule. But if you want to check that out for yourself, you can register online. And there's a section on the registration page that you can say you just want to audit the course, like you're not a student. We'll send you login information, and then you can go through it. And then you can evaluate on behalf of your client if you think that's right for them. So keep that in mind as well. It's risk-free. It's, we're happy to do it. We have a lot of programs that take advantage of that. If you need any help co-branding flyers, this is just a sample of what we did with ONLC back in October. Just kind of gives you an idea of what we can do, but we're more than willing to help, design some flyers or help, promote any blended learning initiatives that we want to work on together. Keep that in mind, and we're available for that too. Even open houses. We've done a lot of open houses, a lot of webinars. If you want to host one for your community or your group and your program, and you want to invite some people to talk about maybe a blended learning initiative, we're more than happy to come in. If you want us to help set up a Zoom session, you just kind of want us to be there, even if it's just for moral support or whatnot, definitely take advantage of that. I know not all the programs are open yet, so we got to find different ways to connect with people in the community. And if it's an open house or something fun you want to do online, keep us in mind. We're more than happy to work together with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Warren. Okay, now everybody remembers what Warren told us, right? Because we're going to go in and we're going to work together now and come up with some ideas here. So what I thought we would do is, I'm going to open up a document here because I don't think we have a whiteboard in. Okay, we're going to open up a little document here and we're going to come up with some ideas. So what I thought we would do first of all is come up with a program, and we're going to kind of make it a combination of programs that we have here. And then we're going to come up with some ideas on how we might market that, because Warren just talked about some great ideas. So I thought what we would do is just kind of walk through that process. And then we're going to have a second scenario afterwards on how we'd walk a learner through what they need to. So this is where I'm going to need you guys. You're welcome to raise your hand if you want to add something, or the text chat as well. So I thought our program would be a community program, because a lot of our programs in the Aboriginal stream are community programs. But do we want this program to be a standalone program in the community, or it to be housed with other programs where they're kind of habitating within a program? What do you guys want? You want it to be a standalone program, or cohabitating is not the word I'm looking for, but the other word is, I'm probably not sharing my screen, am I? Let me do that. There we go. So we're going to have a community program, and let's see. Who was the last person to text chat? Alexandra. So we're going to pick on Alexandra. Do you want this to be a standalone program or one that's in a site with other people, Alexandra?
I would say in a site with other people.
Okay, so we're going to have this program is located. What other programs might be in the building with this program? Co-located is the word I was looking for. What other programs might be there? Let's go back and see. Oh, someone's texting me. Employment Ontario. Okay, Michelle says Employment Ontario is located there. Okay, that's a good one. Employment Ontario. Anything else? Let's say there's 3 in this building that's co-located with that. What other might be located in this program as well, or in this building as well? So we've got Employment Ontario, a youth program. Okay. Awesome. And a food bank. Yay, Michelle. Okay. And literacy's there too. Yeah, awesome. So we've got the literacy program. So it's the literacy program is co-located with other programs. So we've got Employment Ontario, youth program, food bank. It's a community program. Okay. And in this community, with our newly minted literacy program, what kind of marketing do you think that they currently do that works for them? So I want you to think about your program, and who am I going to go back and say? Walter. Walter, can you give me one thing that works for you for marketing with your current program? What's one thing that you find really gets the word out?
When we post it on Facebook.
Facebook, right? Great spot. Awesome. Okay. Does anybody else have anything that really works for them in the aspect of marketing your program? Like, how do people hear about your program? A website, okay. A newsletter, Facebook, Instagram, yeah, social media, Twitter. People are still using local papers. Okay, awesome. Still using. Lunch and learn, food helps. Absolutely. In the 20 years I've been here, I can tell you that food always helps. Local radio, perfect. Okay. And flyers, okay. Nicolette, how would you how do you get those flyers out? Do you do like a mailing still to people, or are they put up on a community board, or do you pass them out so people, like, how do you get flyers to people these days? Because I know back in the day we'd like mail them, community board, okay. Okay, community board and coworkers share with clients. Okay, and we have to go back and remember our little literacy program that we're talking about here. They are co-located. Oh, we would send flyers home with the elementary school students. That's a brilliant idea, Allison. Yeah, so we've got other programs too, right? We've got Employment Ontario program, we got the youth program, we got the food bank. So we could absolutely go and drop the flyers in those offices, right? In our building or in our community. I think that's a great idea as well. Okay, fantastic. So we've got some, I think you guys got everything on my list I kind of had here as far as marketing and more. Yeah, sending flyers home with elementary students with different requirements, with different school boards, and a lot of planning. But I like that connection, right? Like, I like that connection because especially for maybe moms that have been home and now their kids are finally going to school, right? I'm thinking back pre-COVID, but even thinking about that connection of going to an elementary school fair and having a table or something. Like, I really think that's a great idea. I know that in Sioux Lookout, we used to, it's going back a few years ago, but there used to be a spelling bee at the school, and we would be, we'd support that. So we'd be connecting with the parents, and the kids would be in the spelling bee and that type of stuff, which was always kind of a neat connection as well. So yeah, it's not something I think you can just walk in and send stuff home with kids anymore. You're right, Nicolette, but there needs to be some coordination with that. Okay. So in our little community, that's a community program that's located with Employment Ontario Youth Program Food Bank that has a wide variety of options to market. This community, we know that, I don't know if you guys have taken a look at the labor market information, but we were just doing that for our monitor questions. And that aspect that we're at least across Ontario, right? There are a lot of jobs available right now. And so I think we're seeing a little bit of a switch in what people are coming into our sites or requesting for. Pandemic has definitely turned everything on its head. What kind of things do you think that this community might need, as far as what do you think the needs might be? Like, what could we target in marketing with regards to, let's say, is there, again, this is a fictional community, so is there an employer nearby, or is there an event, or is there, do we want to target something? Let's see. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's say, okay, we're going to use Blueberry. Oh, looking for employers who have good safety protocols in place, safe workplace, safe family. Okay, we're looking for some, okay, so we're looking for work safety. Okay, so we might have a community partner. Okay, let's say it's an employer and they are looking, they've identified that they need, so, okay, this is a good one, Nicolette, I like it. They are looking for, they're looking for workplace safety, okay, courses, okay, for potential employees. And so maybe what we could do is we've contacted Employment Ontario too to see what they have, because I think we can pull them into this as well. And we've got the Employment Ontario together and the community partner. And now we're looking at a way that we want to market this. So I think also the person I might call is Good Learning Anywhere, because we're talking about blended learning today. And we say, okay, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting, we're gonna have a phone call, and this is the need. We need some workplace safety. And maybe we're actually gonna contact ONLC too, because maybe they have some pieces, because we're gonna do blended learning, maybe they have a face-to-face course we could offer. Okay, but we're also gonna take a look. And what we do find is when we go to the courses page at Good Learning Anywhere, and just as Warren told us, courses, I'm going to scroll down and go to our available courses. What we do find, and I know it's in Moodle, so I'm just going to go to the Moodle short courses. There's a link. So we have a couple different kinds of catalog. From our course, you're going to go to the full catalog. But if you just want to see Moodle courses or Edmentum courses, or a list of just the live class that's coming up, you just click on the link there. And because you brought ONLC into this brainstorming, they're going to come up and they're going to come in and say, okay, you want some safety courses? Well, we have, I just have to find it. We have Introduction to Food Safety, and we also have Introduction to WMIS. So those might be, and Smart Serve. So those might be things, depending on the type of work, that people want to perhaps offer as well. So I think my next point to that would be to also, because Good Learning Anywhere is in the meeting, is to ask Warren, hey, do you think we can do a co-brand for this? And he'd come up with a beautiful flyer that we could then go back and take a look at, okay, where do we want to advertise this? We're going to put it on Facebook. We're maybe going to make some flyers and put it out at Employment Ontario, get them to advertise it. On the flyer, we could also have the face-to-face program or the face-to-face learning that we had talked about. Perhaps there's a course or some curriculum that you found somewhere that you're going to offer as well. So in that flyer, it could list both of those opportunities for that learner to be able to do it as well. So I think that there's opportunities there to take a look at what we want to do as far as marketing within our community. Okay, I think that program is going to get some numbers from this. What do you guys think? I think that's going to be a good opportunity for them. Okay. So I want to make sure I give lots of time to Robin to talk about that and give us some time for questions. So the next one I just wanted to talk a little bit about, the next little scenario is our friend Taylor S. So the little scenario is going to be about Taylor S. She got some time on her hands. She's just released a big album. People are listening to it. And now she wants to come and she's walked into the LBS site. She's walked into LBS and she's come into Nicolet's site and said, okay, I'm interested in taking some courses. So what kind of questions can we ask Taylor to see if she is going to be a candidate for blended learning? Or what might she say to us that might trigger, she might be interested in blended learning? Okay, how does she like learning? Okay. What other questions might we ask her that kind of give us an idea of if she's ready, or if we want to open up the door to blended learning for her? Allison, good one. Time for in-person is limited. Yeah, you know what? Taylor's busy. She's got lots of interview requests. She cannot come in during our hours. Plus it's COVID, so we're a little limited on the appointment times that we do have. So she is, but what else do we need to know about Taylor and her ability to do that? So maybe she can only come in once a week. Can only make a once a week appointment, right? Ooh, Yep, we might want to look at maybe she's an independent course learner. Level of reading, right? Could be thinking maybe she'd be Moodle. Even before we get to what type of platform, because we have live classes and we have the independent courses, we want to think about maybe something else. Okay, we don't want to just assume things that she's going to be able to access the learning. So we're going to want to know, thank you, Robin. Yeah, does she have access, right? And she's not just on access to, we need to know about technology and we need to know about her internet access, right? Because taking a live course with bad internet access is not fun. Comfort with technology, right? Is she comfortable? Is she comfortable troubleshooting? There's something else Warren asked, and that comfort with technology comes with, does she have an email address, right? And here's an important one. Does she check her email address? Right? And that goes on both, that goes on people who aren't comfortable with technology and this new generation. I got a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old, and they do not check their email addresses. And when my son went to university this year, I had to hammer it into him. He's like, well, I haven't heard from them. And I'm like, well, if you checked your email, well, no, why would I do that? Right? Just that aspect of, do they check it? Do they check that email? Because that's how the communication is going to come through, right? Okay, good. So technology, email, does she like to learn? Level of reading is important. Does she have access to? Okay, great. So you know what? She's okay. She's open to this idea of online learning. She's and her interests. Okay, that's good too. Okay. She's open to this. She's going to come in once a week to meet with Nicolette. It's not fun. It's not good. Quality issues. Yeah, there's nothing worse than taking a live course and having it stop and Darth Vader talk to you the entire time. Yeah, it's frustrating. So let's say she's going to come in once a week to meet with Nicolette. She's going to come in, she's going to talk to you. She's open to this online learning. Because of her limited time that she's available, we're going to maybe look at more independent courses for her, right? And does she have access to technology and internet? So yes, she does. She's going to be comfortable with it. She does have an email address and she's going to check it. And she's interested in, and that's when we would go and we would pull up the course catalogs. And because we know that she's maybe more interested in independent, we really look at kind of the Edmentum courses or the Moodle courses. Live classes are recorded. So if there is something she is interested in but can't attend, she could also be signed up for a live class as well. Okay. And that kind of leads us into kind of the next piece. And I know we're running out of time, is we're going to talk about registration and as well as the cans that we're going to look at as well. So are there any questions about those pieces? The other thing I didn't mention too that I think is really good with marketing is if we wanted to just start with something and we wanted just to see how the community would react to something, is we could suggest the bundles that Warren talked about, is just do something with the bundles and say, hey, we have a healthy living bundle and we want to advertise it. And we're thinking about doing an online open house about it. Can we work together on doing that with our community? And we're happy to help you put something like that together. Because I think it's an opportunity is once you kind of walk through it, and we're happy to do that, is then you can start to do a little bit of that stuff on your own as well. If that's something you want to, if that's the direction you want to take your organization into, or invite people in, offer them food, like Allison said. Nothing beats a little food, a little chat, a little bit of, hey, let's check out this open house type of thing. That always helps as well. But we have to take that next step, is now we've realized what Taylor's interested in. Nicolette needs to get her registered. And our registration process is basically the same as yours. All the information that you collect, we also have to collect. And we wish there was a one-stop button that just copied it over, but there's not. And so you would go to our website, and you would register, okay, for a course. And the first thing you do is actually type in what course you're interested in doing. And the filter is a really nice tool at the top. So if you're interested in math, or you're interested in WMIS, we've talked about that, you could filter it by going to the top, and that will pull up the course that you're interested in. And then you select the class. There's a little option at the top. You're going to put in that you're a new or previously exited learner, and then go in and fill in all the information with the red stars. And this is where, if you have a learner that is maybe not as tech savvy, this is a great spot to have them come in and sit down and do it with them, because there is a lot of information. And this can be a really good time to get to know that learner. This is a great time to say, okay, let's register together, then come in next week, or I'm going to call you next week. We're going to have a Zoom meeting to see and really kind of work on building that relationship with the learner. Because if the learner can't come in on a regular basis, or your site's not open to allow them to come in, this is a great opportunity to build that relationship with them, even though we aren't maybe having people just drop in all the time anymore. We do require a social insurance number, just like your programs do. We do have a number that they can call if they're more interested in doing it over the phone and don't want to put it on but just we have the same requirements that you guys do. This is an important part for you guys, and Warren mentioned this earlier in the aspect of if you want to audit and review, so you want to just take a look at a course. If you don't, if you want to do that, click yes. It's a good question, and I'm going to let Robin take that one when we get to Robin. So we talked about the auditing and reviewing it. So just click that, because if not, if you don't, then we treat you like a learner, and there's a lot of extra work that goes into it. So if you're a practitioner and you're just reviewing a course, or you want to take a look at something, please use the audit and review button, because that'll save us all a lot of time. And this is the important part. So somebody asked about, do I get stuff for the file if someone completes a milestone? Yes, if we know that they're connected to your site. So you have to remember that we have over 1,500 learners come through our doors. And some of them come absolutely independently off, just found us and have come to us, and they have no other outside support. And we're working with them. We have other people that come through Employment Ontario, Ontario Works, all those types of things. And then we have the learners that are coming through LBS. And you guys want to know what they're doing, and you want to know with regards to the milestones and that type of stuff, so that you can also do that, which is what Robin's going to talk about. And so this is a great aspect to put your information in there, so you are connected with that file right away. Okay, and that they're given a mentor right away with GLA, and then you will be put into contact with them and part of that process. I didn't explain that very well, Robin. Did you want to take that? Or anything I should add to that?
No, I think you did just fine.
Okay. It just helps us to know that you're there supporting them and want to be CC'd on things, right?
Right, absolutely.
Okay. So this is the part Sue usually does. So I'm just kind of going, Petra has been great sharing information. Yeah, Petra's fantastic. She's one of our mentors. Yeah. And I guess I should say there are sites that do not want to know anything. And that is, that's kind of what we need to know from you guys, how much information you want. And that can be an email to the mentors. So the learner automatically receives 2 email, a confirmation of registration, and a course registration information email as well. And then registration is completed. This is what we talked about. So a mentor's assigned. So everybody gets their own mentor, which is their person. They might not be the instructor for the courses they signed up, but they're the person who's going to check in with them every other week or every week. They will be the person that if you have a question too, that you can reach out and talk to them as well. And sometimes they don't know who their mentor is, and that's okay. Just email any of us. We'll be able to look that up for you. So Robin, I'm going to turn it over to you. I know we're running close on time, so just bear with us. If you do have to go, it is recorded, but I'm going to turn it over to Robin to talk about CAMS and blended learning.
Great. Thank you, Linda. We got a lot of time for the most important and so interesting part of this. So good morning. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. My name is Robin Rowe. And as the mentor support lead for GLA, I offer guidance to our online mentors in providing learner plan details and documentation for our own internal database. So my role with database administration is then to translate all of that ministry mandated fund data provided by the clients and mentors and enter it into CAMS on GLA's behalf. Yes, so thank you, Linda, for posting that. If you have any questions going forward and we run out of time, please don't hesitate to send me an email. I can send you all the information that you need step by step. And if I cannot do that, I can refer you to Anita, who's the Sue Hudson Literacy Council part of what I do, and she's on site and she'll have the answers that I can't equip you with. Sorry, I'm right now I'm speaking Robin, and I'm with GLA, and Anita is the on-site for Sue Hudson Literacy Council. So as Warren has mentioned, Good Learning Anywhere is obviously fully invested in the ministry's blended learning initiative. In the fall of 2019, we implemented a multi-step plan for our mentors to follow to facilitate our partnerships with the on-site practitioners and to help coordinate services for our mutual clients. With the developments in our world over the last few years and the impact it's had on the literacy field and the changes that is created to the on-site learning environment, we're working very hard to communicate better in order to support our partners and give them the information they need to follow along with our mutual learners and what they're accomplishing. So once a GLA mentor has been assigned a new client, one of the first things, and some of this has all been mentioned before, so a little bit of an overview. So once a GLA mentor has been assigned a new client, one of the first things the mentor will look for in the learner's file is if they have been given consent to share information. If the consent to share is there, that multi-step plan that I just mentioned gets set into motion. The first step, when our welcome email is sent to the new learner, the practitioner is copied on this. This email provides everyone with details like the name of the GLA mentor, their contact information, and some expectations for online learning and when to expect the login information and access to the courses that they have chosen. Second step, the practitioner will receive a blended learning information email from the GLA mentor, asking them to fill in the short form about our mutual client in order to strengthen the blended learning partnership. Some of the questions on the form include, what is the learner working towards with the practitioner? What do they believe is the learning style? Are there any learning challenges they'd like us to know about? Or is there any further information they would like to provide us with so we can better support the learner together? The final step, step 3, if and when our mutual learner completes a milestone in any of our online courses, our GLA blended learner milestone completion email is sent to the practitioner. This will share important details, as Warren mentioned, that the practitioner will need if they want to enter the information into CAMS as a shared milestone under the Blended Learning Initiative. The email includes the milestone number and the title, for example, milestone 54, log into a user account on a computer. The milestone start date, the end date, and for tracking sake, the GLA course the milestone was attained in. So as Warren mentioned, it's important to mention that practitioners will always receive these emails that I just went over. However, they can receive as much or as little information as they would like to from GLA, simply by communicating that preference to the mentor that they're working with. So obviously communication is key in the process, so everyone can benefit from the blended learning. So as I mentioned in step 3, the great news is, yes, milestones can be shared for everyone to receive credit for service. In order to do this, practitioners will need to take the information they received from that milestone email I just mentioned and transfer the data into CAMS. Now, essentially, the steps are the same for any other milestone that you might enter on your own behalf for your client's plan. Great. Shared, yes, right. If you're on the consent to share, which is very key, as Linda mentioned before, in that process of registering. If consent to share is not there, you can contact the client and ask them to contact GLA and provide consent to share. But as long as we don't have it, we obviously are not able to share anything. So for, let's see. So once you're in CAMS and you search for the learner plan by selecting register a person, you will create your own new service plan. Once that's been created, you will click on the plan content tab and enter the new sub goal. This is just like adding any other milestone for your own organization. A pop-up will appear asking you to create the sub goal data. This is where you choose a competencies pertaining to the milestone you want to input. So once you select and save the appropriate sub goal, you will need to add the plan item for the competency. This is where you're required to fill in the expected start date, the expected end date, the delivery method, the milestone. It is on the screen, and it's right here for you to see that you identify the blended learning component for the learner. To do this, you simply click on the box beside the blended learning title. The delivery method will also be a little bit different from typically what you select for your own organization. Because it was delivered on e-channel, you just select the e-channel. But as long as you have that blended learning clicked off, it is now deemed the shareable milestone. You can also provide any other information in the comments below for additional support if you so choose. And that is how you enter a shared milestone. It's as simple as that little extra click. So that's it for that. The only other thing I kind of wanted is a helpful tip to share that once you're in CAMS, you can look into whether your learner has other LBS service plans open that you might not be aware of. Once you sign into the database, you click on that register person and enter your client's name and then do a search for them. Once you confirm that it's your client, you can, based on looking at their date of birth, you can then click on their case reference number, which is the column on the far left beside their name. And this will bring you to their Employment Ontario homepage for the learner. You can scroll down to see all their service plans. This is where the ones that are either active or closed. To access the milestone details that have been entered by other organizations this learners work with, you just click on the reference number beside the organization you are interested in viewing. This will take you to their service plan homepage. Under that specific organization, you scroll down to the name of the sub goal to view all the information that organization has entered for this learner, including the activities and the milestones and all the important information that you need. It's my suggestion at this point, you contact your client and ask them if they are participating in courses with any other organizations, and ask them to contact them to give their consent to share with you so that you're able to use these milestones that they have achieved with other organizations. So again, communication is going to be real key with some of this to ensure that duplication of services is also not happening. So that is really it for the fun stuff. If anyone has any questions or concerns, as I said, you can always contact me via email. And I'll be happy to do whatever I can to supply you with the answers. And if not, I can defer you to Anita. And I can also send you some details with screenshots for the CAM steps that we just went over if you need that. So I wish you good luck and happy CAMsing.
Thanks, Robin. I appreciate that. And just to clarify, this last piece that we're talking about too, is just that aspect of it that sometimes there are learners that we don't know are taking online courses, and this is a way of finding that information too. If you happen to have a learner that you hear might be taking online courses and you want to see if they are, this is a way, a little tip that Robin has given to others in the aspect of being able to search for that. So thanks, Robin, for that. Okay, I know we're at our time limit here, so we are just some upcoming events that we're having is that to save the date. And again, when we talked about, we had that literacy program we were talking about, we're looking for different events that we could maybe market in our community. Our sharing circle for the winter has been announced. It's going to be January 17th. So that information will be coming out. That might be a great opportunity if you've never done any marketing about online learning, to invite, if you're open, invite people in, have some food, invite people in, put it up on a screen and have people join the sharing circle. The other thing you could do is, if you're not, post it out on social media and invite people in your community to come and join it, and then ask them to contact you after to tell them how they liked it, or perhaps do a draw or something like that, that people can be able to attend the sharing circle. You do not have to be a registered learner with Good Learning Anywhere to attend. It's strictly a piece to let people try online learning, and something we try to give back to the community. The podcasts are coming out on a regular basis. I encourage you to check them out. And our winter term registration opens December 13th. And that information will be sent out shortly as well with regards to what the new courses are. And it's already a little tip is, if you go to courses and you go to our live courses, you will be able to see what we do have scheduled for live courses coming up, and that could help you plan as well. And I'll take you there. Maybe if we have, if people want to stick around, I can show you where to find that, because I'll stick around for a few minutes afterwards as well. We always publish a GLA this week. It goes out on our Facebook, and it's a great opportunity. If you have people coming in or want to forward this on, don't feel you have to recreate the wheel. Forward this on. Send it out to the newsletter, or post it on your community board or Facebook. And these are the upcoming classes, and put on it, come contact Nicolette. If you have any questions about these courses, come contact me, and I can talk to you about registering for that. And feel free to use that as a marketing tool as well. These are the ones that we have coming this week, which is fun. One of my favorites, preparing for a zombie apocalypse. It's the second one, but that one's one of my favorites. And Warren added this great quote, which I think is really true. No one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play it. And that's, I think what we do is try to work together for the best interest of our clients. And really, that's why we're here, is to support you guys and make sure we can give access to LBS to anybody that needs it in Ontario. And we're always here to answer any questions. So I think that's it, with only 5 minutes over, Michelle. I know that you had some stuff that you wanted to do, a draw and some surveys, I think. So can I turn it back over to you?
Sure. I'm kind of overwhelmed right now. You inundated us with a whole bunch of information again. And I don't know how many times I've heard you guys do presentations, but you do give us different information each time. So I'm like, whoa, me and Rhonda are like, she didn't say that last time.
Well, this is recorded, and we will send out our PowerPoint slides, and I will stick around here after you're done your draw and stuff. And if people want me to walk them through, or if people need a break, they're always welcome to just give us a shout, and we can go into a Zoom session and help them walk through and look at things too. Because I think sometimes that's the best, is each program is so unique. We're happy to sit down and talk. And I think our phone lines are, whether you want to give us a call or you want to go in Zoom, Warren and Robin and Sue, I hope we're pretty easy to talk to, but that you're more than welcome to give us a shout and brainstorm, because I think that's part of it. We're all into a new era of LBS. So
And I think that's true, right? Like since the last, since maybe 2 years ago, everything's really very new. And all of this is so important. Okay,
and
here's
that could even be part of your business plan. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. But that could be part of your business plan is, hey, I'm going to sit down and I'm scheduling a meeting with GLA to talk about this, right? That's a great thing to say to your ETC as well. So anyway,
You're
I'll stop
always
now.
on my business plan though. Okay, reach in here, Linda, and pick out something. Okay, here we go. Angel Sky. You looked at him.
Yay!
She told me she'd give me half.
Oh, so she's taking you out for dinner then, because it's a
Burger Barns?
keg.
Okay.
certificate. So we'll make sure Angel gets it. I'll even hand deliver it. And
Nice.
then the final draw is for everyone participating throughout every program participating throughout the last 3 days. So it's a program prize for your program. And it's a $250 gift certificate at Staples. So I'll get Linda to reach in again and pick out a name. And thank you, Linda. And is Niagara Regional Native Center, St. Catharines. Oh, yay! Tina and Alexi. Yay! Okay, so we'll make sure that you get that too. And then, Linda, do you want to say anything else? Nice and
Do I want to say thank you. I want to thank Warren and Robin for coming today, and to ONLC for having us. And is there something else I was supposed to say?
no, I don't think so. Thanks, Warren.
Yeah, no, thank you. This was great. It's always nice meeting new people, and I hope it was helpful. I know it was overwhelming. I said it from the beginning. I know exactly how everyone is feeling, but if there's a couple takeaways and you work on a couple things at a time and then come back and work on a couple more things, that definitely helps. But as we said, if there's anything that we can do to help, certainly reach out. We're more than happy to give everyone a hand.
The evaluation has been posted on in the chat earlier. So the link to that. Appreciate you filling it out so that we can give feedback to our presenters.
I'll repost it at the bottom, so it's. Oh, Rhonda did.
There you go. So, and thank you, everybody. I've been here, I think 10 years, going on 10 years soon. And really, I didn't know a lot about GLA until I had to this past couple years. Because you guys just run it so smoothly and just, and it's frightening how much there's to learn about this. And I'm every time I'm just so amazed at how much got going. So really, really good programs there and a lot of support too. So thank you guys very much. And everybody, thank you for participating over the last 3 days. And don't forget about our Friday webinar, our last webinar on apprenticeship at 10 o'clock with the Aboriginal Apprenticeship Board of Ontario, ABO. And if you have any more questions, I'm trying to scroll down to see if there's any more questions. But thank you so much. And Linda, I'll be in touch, okay, because of the other things we're working on.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you so much. This was good. It's always good to connect. And yeah, I think that's the big message is take what you need and leave the rest. Just everybody's at a different spot with their program, right? So
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. I know. Okay. Well, miigwech, we'll talk soon.
Okay. Stop the recording, or did you give it back to me?
I didn't start it, so I think you must have.
I'll reclaim my host back.
Okay. You take the power.
Okay, now we